Hey guys, my name is Tammy, and as this is going to be my very first video, I thought I would tell you a little bit about me. Basically, I'm 27 years old, almost 28 now. I've had a disability all my life, and I would I would like to try and help other people out that have got a disability, which is the purpose really of this channel. Um, Try and encourage them if I can. And um, I've been back and forth to the hospital, the doctors, and the psychiatrist, which kind of felt like my very first home because I've spent more time at the hospital than I actually have done at home. So, um, my mum couldn't work when I was younger, as she was always called out to school to pick me up because I wasn't well. And that would be sort of every day, maybe every other day. She was always getting a call. So, unfortunately, she couldn't work because of it. She had to sort of take care of me. And I do feel guilty about that because, if it wasn't for me, she would have worked more, and when she retired, she would have got a better pension than what she's got now. Um, and so that's kind of my fault, although I couldn't help sort of being ill. Um, I had my tonsils removed at the age of 3. The hospital thought that could have been the reason for me being sick. Um, but after they removed them, there was no change. So obviously they realised, no, that's not the cause. Um, Although at least I don't get tonsillitis, so I suppose I got to be pretty happy about that one. Um, I've I've been to a lot of doctors and probably spent most of my life really not actually being believed, and people always saying, "Oh, it's just in your head," and just not taking me seriously. And I don't know if that's just because I was young, and for some reason they seem to think I was making it up or what. But I mean, if it wasn't for the doctors that I was at years and years ago, I might have had my diagnosis a lot sooner. Um, but because they didn't believe me, and I would go in and I'd tell them everything that was going on with me, but they sent me for a hearing test, which I'd already had anyway. Um, and we said, there's nothing wrong with my hearing. Um, so we were a little bit confused as to why they had sent me for a hearing test. Um, but as you can imagine, obviously, I changed doctors because what was the point of being at a doctor's who just never believed you? Um, so that was that then. Um, I like I say, I've spent all my life with this illness and never known what it is that's causing it. And I got to that point where I thought, you know what? I don't know if I'm ever going to know what's actually wrong with me. Maybe I'm just literally going to be saying to people, oh, I lose my balance, I get headaches, and I get dizziness, and have it as that, but not being able to put a name to it. So I felt like giving up, and every now and again, when I get ill, I do get quite depressed, and I just think, oh, maybe I should just spend my entire days in bed or whatever. But then I also think, well, that doesn't really help me because I feel worse if I stay in bed. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation on that one. But anyway, I was at this hospital, and I've been back and forth there for years. And I mean, they ran out of all the tests that they could do for me on the NHS. I was constantly having blood tests and various other tests done. And so in the end, they had a sort of idea of what they thought the name for my illness was. And I think just to be sure, they referred me to a neurology specialist who obviously was a specialist in this field. And so at the age of 26, I finally went there. After my first visit, they had done obviously some more tests and whatever. They had done these different tests to find out sort of how my legs and my muscles were coping, like a reaction sort of test where they did like electric shocks with my arms and my legs, but that all came back normal. So I was just like, okay, so that's another test that's come back normal. But then they had taken a blood test and they finally diagnosed me. So I was extremely thrilled but extremely nervous because I thought, okay, I've been diagnosed, which obviously I'm really happy about, but at the same time I'm thinking, okay, I'm nervous because now there's a name to it. So I've always known there was something wrong with me, but now I've got the proof, sort of thing. So I can actually now, when people say, oh, it's all in your head and whatever, I go, actually no, because I have, the hospital have actually told me I've got this. And basically what it's known as is episodic ataxia, type 2, I believe they said I've got. So there's two different types, type 1 and type 2. And basically it's really rare, and the specialist that I've been seeing, he said that he's only seen 400 cases in like the 15 years I think of him in his career, or in the last 15 years, I'm not 100% sure, but I know it's like in 15 years or something. And so basically, just to go into a little bit of detail of kind of how it affects me and what it is basically, it affects the balance cortex of my brain, which basically means that my brain is producing too much calcium. It can't cut it all down, and that is affecting the hand and eye coordination. And so basically I get like really severe migraines, and I get really dizzy and nausea as well, although the nausea, that side of things has kind of settled down since I was younger. I've got to know the signs now. So, I mean, you don't get a warning really of when it's going to come on. You'll be fine 1 minute and then you'll just get, bam, hit with it the next. And so when I start to feel like, okay, I can feel that my head is going all funny. It's like a swimming sensation. And like everything around me just spins, and then it's like the floor kind of disappears. Like my feet don't know where the floor is. And my vision goes really blurry. And because I've learnt to know kind of, I suppose, when I'm going to get it, because I'm starting to. If I'm in, I can just go straight to bed and that's it. Like, I will sometimes feel better after a bit of a sleep. And then there's other times that I won't. I'll be in bed for 3 days, really ill. And if I'm out and about, then I can't get to lay down, then I'll start to feel a bit sick. I suppose it's kind of like motion sickness in some ways. Because my head's spinning so much, it's just make it, I don't know, just making you feel sick sort of thing. But they've put me on some medication now, which is helping slightly. I mean, probably every month, maybe every other month, I would always spend 3 days in bed without fail. And I'm not having that now. Um, since I've been on the tablets. I mean, I've had maybe two attacks of that, but they were situations where I was really stressed or I was really nervous about something, because they can affect it as well. Or if I get really hot, that can affect it. And I still get the headaches and I still get the dizziness. Um, even being on these tablets. So I'm hoping that they can figure out what dosage I need or what other sort of tablets I may be able to go on that will actually sort it out for me. I cannot walk unaided. I've got a walker that I use to walk around the house. Because I just feel dizzy, and my balance is just really bad all the time. Like, my legs feel so weak and jellyish. And so I have to use a walker generally wherever I want to go around the place. And if I'm out, I've got a mobility scooter. Although I try not to use that if I'm with my husband, because I'm trying to. I mean, my physiotherapist that I'm seeing at the moment, she is trying to get me to walk a lot more so that I can hopefully try and improve my muscles and make them a bit stronger. And so I'm trying not to use my mobility scooter as much unless I've got to go on a long distance, because if I've got to go somewhere where it could take 20 minutes or maybe half an hour to walk to, generally I can't manage that. I will walk with my husband if it's about a 2 minute walk. Um, but I'm always clinging onto his arm. I've drawn blood a few times because I cling onto his arm so tightly, that I accidentally kind of, I think, put my nails into his arm, um, which obviously I don't mean to do. Um, I I get so dizzy, and I suppose I panic a lot that I'm just gonna fall or something like that. And so I cling onto his arm a little bit harder than I intend to. And I can't sort of go for a nice stroll with him, because we can't have like a romantic stroll, like, just walking hand in hand or just walking down the street, kind of separate, but walking next to each other, if you know what I mean. Because I just can't manage that. So it's like we can't have a romantic stroll together because I'm just clinging onto his arm so much. And I mean, he's really, really good. He's been really supportive since we got together like 8 years ago. And he's always trying to help me out best he can, and he'll do everything for me when I'm really, really ill and I just can't move. So he is great. But I just want to say to the other people that have disabilities, don't allow it to run your life, because it's been running mine for my entire life. And I suppose I've just allowed it to, but now I'm trying my hardest to be in control of my own body, and to, I suppose, run the disability instead of letting the disability run me. I know it's a lot easier said than done. It's really difficult, and I'm struggling with this illness on a daily basis. I don't have any friends really. I don't know if people like me because I don't have because I have this disability, and so I can't do what other people can do. I can't just go out for a nice meal because I can't sit there for 2 to 3 hours or whatever because my head starts spinning. And I just can't really go out on the social gatherings. So I don't know if people don't like me because I've got this disability or if I'm just, I don't know, not likeable. But whatever the case may be. But yeah, so I just want to say to all the other people that do have disabilities, hang in there and just don't ever give up. I've wanted to give up so many times, but I've tried hanging in there, I've tried being strong. It's really difficult and it won't be an easy process, but if you do ever need someone to talk to and you haven't got anyone for whatever reason that you feel that you can turn to, I am here and I am willing to listen to you, sort of thing. So write me a message and I will try my hardest to support you and to try and encourage you and just be that person that you may need to talk to that also understands what you're going through. Um, so please, if you do need that, just don't hesitate to contact me. Just write me a message um, in the comments down below, and I will try and get back to you as quick as possible. So I just want to say thanks for listening, everybody, and I will hopefully be doing another video in a week's time. If you did happen to like this video, then please click the like button and please subscribe to my channel also. And guys, just hang in there, okay? Thanks for listening.